Hi ho, it's off to Greg's I go to sight in the bow. So we will see you when we get there.
Fortunately, I have a little town gravel pit near my house, and we took the shooting table, the portable shooting table, and my gun vise, and that, and we're setting up. And since the scope has just been put on the bow, we have no idea where it's sighted at. So I'm eyeballing it down the rail to make sure that our bolt hits the target on the first shot, and yeah, that way we don't have to go chasing bolts or anything, hopefully. And looking under the sight and down the rail to get us on the bag. And then, of course, wherever the bolt hits, we'll check where the scope is sighted at. Now I'm going to speed up through a lot of this here, so I accelerated, made it look a little funny, but yeah. And my first shot that I took, put the bolt in, and I really didn't use the scope at all. I just fired, and you'll see here in a second where the first shot hit right there, and this is where we hit. We were just off to the left, but I wasn't using the scope. So this next shot, I will use the scope. Now, as you'll see in this next shot, the scope is actually pretty close to being on, but sadly, our batteries died. I'm going to fast forward through a lot of this, but this is the start of day two, and we went out and we're going to finish sighting in bow. Um, but as we started, we took our first shot and found that it was nowhere near being on like it was yesterday. So, but I also was using the zoom, and I thought, well, maybe it's just actually out that much. And the shot I took yesterday without the zoom, I got lucky. But we soon find out after about 4 shots that that's not the case. The something's going on, and as we're adjusting, it's not adjusting the way we want. It's confusing to me because I have not used this kind of an adjusting system on any kind of a scope before. It's got an elevation screw in the back, and of course your side to side in the front, and it's all manual. There's no MOA instruction of how much it's moving per turn or half turn or anything. So it's all kind of guesswork. But when it's not consistent, you start thinking something else is wrong. And yes, before you go out shooting, every time, especially with a crossbow and a scope mounted on you should check to make sure everything is tight. And of course, after the first 4 shots and missing the bag and hitting the dirt and then hitting the bag and not adjusting the probably I said, well, there's obviously something going on here. So out come the Allen keys and we find out that the single screw that holds the scope onto the rail was not tight. So we had to get that tightened up. Now, after tightening the bowl all down and getting the scope tightened down, we start to shoot and try to get some consistency. As you notice, the sunshade and the Velcro that they send with it, they just send like a bunch of little round stickers with Velcro to hold it on, but it's not enough, so we'll have to work on that and get something, get some Velcro strips or whatever, cut them and put them on there. We'll see, we'll get it figured out and we'll let you know. But anyways, I sped this up because, and I didn't put all the videos in because we were shooting, and like I said, there was no MOA on the scope, and it took a lot of shots. But we do eventually get it to the point where it's consistent and we're on the target and happy with what we're seeing. So, now here are some of the shots that I made, and like I said, there's no MOA. Tell you how much the adjustment is, but your front right to left sight, if you turn the screw a half turn, it's about an inch. And for your elevation in the back on that screw, if you turn it about a quarter turn, is about an inch from what we were finding with this boat. But we finally got the consistency that we liked, and then I could let Jason see if he liked it. Here's some footage from the Omega camera. We thought we had it set on 1080p or 1080 HD, but we did not. And another thing about this camera, if you don't rotate it 90 degrees, this is the kind of footage that comes off the camera. You have to rotate it in your video editor. To make it look like this, you have to rotate it 90 degrees. Now that we worked together and got this scope sighted in, it's time for Jason to take some shots and see how he likes it. So, Jason is a southpaw or a lefty, if you haven't noticed. Overall, for what we want this scope for, it's going to do great. This is footage from the Omega again. Like I said, we still haven't figured out how to get it to stay on that 1080 HD, but we will figure it out. The 720, of course, always has the black lines. But as you can see, he's hitting consistently. And these are the same shots, but off a different camera angle.